Now, Nigeria has been chosen by the heads of state and government of the Sahel Region Climate Commission to host the Secretariat of the Sahel Climate Fund. On the margin of the just ended 36th AU Summit, the second conference of heads of state and government of the Sahel Region Climate Commission, which took place and sought the appointment of Isifi Borem of Niger Republic as the president of the commission and approved as the executive secretary of the commission. Amongst other decisions by leaders of member countries during the mini summit in Addis Ababa include the adoption of the methods of contributions from the states for the financing of the operations of the executive secretariat and the Sahel Climate Fund, as well as for the participation in the first recapitalization of the said fund. The Sahel Climate Fund is a financial body of the Sahel Region Climate Commission, and President Muhammadu Buhari had declared Nigeria's interest to host the headquarters of the fund and readiness to provide all necessary amenities in Nigeria. All right, we are now joined in the studios by retired Air Vice Marshal Akugbe Iyamu, who is an environmentalist, a climate change analyst, as well as an author. Very warm welcome. This is a very familiar terrain for you, and one of the topical issues that the just ended summit in Addis Ababa, of course, is the issue of climate change.
Yeah.
But as the African Union really set out, a mitigation strategy to address this enormous problem facing Africa, particularly in the Sahel region.
Thank you for having me. Before we talk of climate change, you have to look at SDG 13. What does it talk about? It's telling you that you have to take all necessary measures to deal with climate change. Now, climate change has left activism, but we in Africa are still taking it as an activist work. No. You find out countries like UK and UAE now, they are not setting up commissions anymore. They are setting up Ministry of Climate Change. So that what am I telling you with this? It shows you that climate change have now left activism to diplomacy. To diplomacy, there's a lot of funds in it. How come we are not getting the fund that is accruable to India and China on climate change? So for us to do that, the African Union just put up a framework for climate change, which is not binding on any of the countries. It's not binding, but
the African continent is the one that suffers most globally. When it comes to the issue of deforestation, no control about how fossil fuels and other environmental deforestation, for example, and other environmental degradations.
Is the worst hit.
Yeah.
Is the worst hit. Now,
so there should be a mitigation plan or strategy because when you talked about the SDG 13, whose major goal is to combat this climate change and its impact, then there is a target for 2063, the agenda, which is the achievement of the agenda of 2063 vision. That's how you attain SDG 13. What are they really putting, to mitigate this problem?
Like I was telling you, they just put up a framework for climate change, which is not binding on the countries. It's not binding on them. What they want to do is to build resource-resilient entities like transport, agriculture, and all. But if you build that, you are also going to be able to bring it down. COP27 just ended. What did we take there? Pre-COP27 was the biggest problem here is flooding. And there's a lot of money coming out from there. We are not moving in the right direction to do that. Whatever we are doing now is just redemptive veneers. You know what the redemptive veneer is? It's just a facade that you use to cover it. Other countries are engaging it pragmatically. And we need to do that. We need to do that. And we need to take it. See, climate change has been taken into the economy. You sell goods and services. For instance, in Nigeria, we have the best mangrove. We can sell that. Yeah. We have the ocean. Our ocean is so wide. We can sell that.
Okay, interesting. So there's a lot of money. I mean, climate justice demands that the polluters should pay because we are the least emitters, but we suffer the most.
Yeah.
But, you know, I want to bring it home.
Yeah.
We're all talking about elections, which is very important to Nigeria. 4 days
Yes.
ago or 3 days
Yes.
ago. Have you heard from any of the presidential candidates? Have you heard enough about climate change? Have you even heard anything about climate change? Or is it not problem enough? I know we do have insecurity, education, economy. How about climate change? How serious are we taking it?
Let me thank you for bringing out this particular issue. Since September, I've been on the research, to see the impact of flooding on our economy. We took 5 areas. We took agriculture, we took transportation, we took the ocean, we took the cities. And we found out that you need 3% of your GDP to deal with climate change. And your GDP has just been up now to 454 billion. You can imagine 3% of that. And when there's flooding, just to give you a background, you find out that you are losing 120 hours every week, and that amounts to $18 million. You continue to waste that. You see, climate change that we're doing now, Article 9 clearly tells you how the money for solving most of this problem, Article 9 of the Paris Agreement is there, well stated, that the industrialized nation will bring in resources to bail you out. To bail you out. They went for...
We're not seeing that.
We're not seeing that.
So how is it, very quickly, how is the Sahel Commission and the funds that the Secretariat is going to be domiciled in Nigeria help to mitigate this problem?
That is the biggest advocacy. You know, the Sahel is a contradictory region. It's the richest and the poorest. You understand? It starts from the Atlantic Ocean and end up in the Sahara Desert. Yeah. So, funny enough, it starts from the Middle East up to the horns of Africa. Everything you are looking for in this world is in the Sahel. The renewable energy we are talking about is there. So the fund now, what is the problem with the Sahel? You need to build long-term plan for them. You need the biggest problem is humanitarian problems. You need to deal with that. And you need to get the agencies and organizations to be able to come together to do it. Most of them live under $2
a day.
Yes, per day. It's so poor. It's so poor. And the conflict, and that is why the US Secretary General told you that it's a crucible of climate change, conflict and everything. You understand? Which is cascading to be the world's biggest threat. Okay. So if you solve the problem of the Sahel, you have solved the problem of the world.
That's a good place to leave it.
Absolutely. Retired Air Vice Marshal Akugbe Iyamu, environmentalist and author. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much.